Yeah, you're very right. I mean, the song is 15 years old. It actually will be exactly 15 years old on the 6th of November. And I've actually done a remix before, which actually won a summer. One of the summers there is for Feel Good Remix. And I wanted to celebrate and commemorate the fact that Feel Good is 15 years old. And then, I could have done all kinds of styles, but I thought it is important to celebrate current culture. I'm a fan of Amapiano, and I think I also respect how the movement has grown. There was a time that I thought Amapiano was just a passing phase, and it's just amazed me how it's evolving, it's growing. The artists coming out of the Amapiano scene, it's just phenomenal. So it was a way for me to also pay my respects, I guess, to a beautiful culture that's emerging. It's taken over Kwaito in a big way. And I feel like it's also an evolution of Kwaito. And it just felt appropriate to celebrate Feel Good using an Amapiano remix. And then working with Prince KB, it was so awesome. He's so lovely, so respectful also. But it was so nice, it was so chilled, and it just made me comfortable. And we were kind of just, it was just very nice and chilled. And I'm just so grateful that he did this for me, and yeah, it's nice to engage with sort of the DJs that are hot and happening right now as well. It is my biggest single of my career. It has traveled the whole planet, quite literally. It's been on the US sitcom Girlfriends. I was the only African featured on there. There was Amy Winehouse, Mary J. Blige, Jill Scott, so many amazing R&B singers, and I was the only African featured on that soundtrack with the song Feel Good. And then a sitcom in Canada also used the song. Actually all television channels, S1, S2, S3, also used it as like a theme song. And I've had a lot of brands also use it as part of their advertising. So, I mean, the list goes on. In fact, Black Coffee, I think it was 2 years ago, sent me a video where he was walking in a hotel and the song was playing in the background. I was just so happy. But it just goes to show to me that, wow, a song that was, I think I wrote it when I was semi-low in my life, and I was just saying, I'm so tired of feeling bad. I just want to feel good. And I wanted the song to also have the same feeling for everyone that was singing it. I remember wanting to make it simple and catchy, so that people would kind of just sing it, and hopefully it would uplift them. And that's what I wanted for myself. And to know that after all these years, the song is still relevant, it's still being played around the world, it's a dream come true. This song changed the trajectory of my entire career, So it did make me feel good. It changed my whole life in a positive way. And I can only be grateful. And I think also celebrating it now, I just want to continue that feeling, just packaged in a new, different flavor. And like you say, it's a classic. So I don't think it takes away from the essence of the song. It just makes it reach a wider audience at this time as well. Okay, so when COVID first came, I think it was clear to me that there was nothing I could do. So I couldn't sort of feel bad that I couldn't work. There was just nothing anyone could do. It wasn't personal. It wasn't happening to any individual person. It was just something that was happening in the world. And I immediately thought to myself, I will probably never get a month off anytime soon. That was my first thinking. I was like, I don't know, if I had all this time, what would I do? And I was like, well, rest, allow yourself to rest. I've had 18 years, 17 years then of just running after goal, after goal, after goal. I didn't even realize how exhausted I was, until COVID came. But my mind just said to me, take it, take the time, take the rest, it's fine. And then I remember 2 days before the pandemic, I had this urge to get out of the city. I wanted to be in nature. And then I became aware that one of the border posts leading to Namibia was open. And I was like, Namibia is perfect. I love that country. And I'll be in nature and I'll be peaceful and I'll be stress-free. So I packed my little car, packed my studio, packed some food so I wouldn't stop on the way. And I just drove 18 hours over 2 days. And I ended up spending 7 months in Namibia. So the first time I left in a little carry-on bag, tiny little bag for the month. And when I realized after the first month had passed that there's no way our industry is going to come back online. It's just not going to, nothing's going to come back to normal anytime soon. I decided, fine, enjoy this time, see what it is. And I think it took me a month to relax, to allow myself to relax. So I think also because I was in a foreign country in nature, I really was away from the stress. I could choose what I allowed to be in my space. So I felt more calm. I was actually happy. I was incredibly happy. So after the first month, after the second month, I think, then there were opportunities to do online work. And I'd never done anything online like that ever. But luckily I traveled with my studio. So then I went to Windhoek. I found a little studio environment. I bought a bit more ring lights and I started doing online shows. The first one was dismal. It was horrible. It was horrible. The sound was fine, but I just didn't know what I was doing. But I began to learn on the fly. So part of me was excited about that, the fact that it was just, this new world and all of us just had to adapt. And I was grateful to even have opportunities, I suppose I wouldn't have bothered, to be quite honest. I was like, I'm resting, it's all good. And then I started getting more and more online work. So I pretty much survived and in many ways thrived in 2020 by doing online work. And I just kept growing and growing. I was going to Windhoek, recording, and then when there was no work, I would go off into nature and explore this wonderful country. So I really had no stress. I really, really had no stress. And then eventually all the travels that I was experiencing, I thought to myself, wow, if I could record live music in the desert, in this wild environment, that would be amazing. And that's exactly what I did. So then I ended up doing 3 live videos. And I did 2 videos, one in the desert in Swakopmund, and I did a video called of the song Braveheart of my Born Free album. I did 2 videos for that. So I just used the time to just, capture everything I was experiencing and feeling. And because I was just in a new space and exploring different things, there was no time to stress. There was no time to be fearful. And quite honestly, I was okay. I was working, so I was okay. Now, obviously my band wasn't working, but I thought to myself, since I'm able to work, let me help my band a little bit. And so I was able to give my band some sustenance for the year that I was there. So I'm very grateful for that, and my thinking was that it's not like my band is being lazy or anything like that. It's a pandemic, everyone's in trouble. So for those of us that are able to receive something to put on our table, let's share what we can. And I just felt it's important for me to share with the people that I work with, rather than sort of concerning about the whole country. It's like I can only do so much. So we were all able to survive and we're all good. And like I say, I can just only be grateful. It's always a bit of a sore point, this. It's like when you ask the abuse what must be done, for instance, it's like the people that need to be addressed are the abusers. It's like often when women are being asked about these things, I'm like, guys, we're the ones that are receiving the ugly end of the stick. We can talk among ourselves, yes, because emotionally it's very healing. But we've got perpetrators that think this is okay. And so it's a bit of a sore point for me. Like I don't actually even know how it makes me feel, but I feel like we're talking to the wrong people most of the time. It's like women go through these things and you cannot imagine how many women who are also successful, who are, yes, mostly vulnerable, but I'm talking about women that are even in empowered positions that are going through so much abuse, physically, verbally, as women, that we all just carry on, put our makeup on, put a smile, and just carry on. You would be amazed. And it's like, it bothers me immensely, you know? So we have a problem as a community, as a world, actually. We have a serious problem that this goes on generation after generation after generation. And even those of us that are even empowered, we still find ourselves in that position. So sometimes I look at it as, why does it happen? Like, why are we still not so much allowing, but especially the women that are empowered, you know, like why is it still happening? So there's a serious problem in society where men think that it is okay to take on their frustration on their partners. I listened to, I'm going to mention his name because he speaks very boldly about this, Patrick Shai. He, I forget what his organization is called, but he's a former perpetrator of gender-based violence upon his wife. And he just gave me such insight, and I commend him now, because we need men to address what is causing them, what makes them think it is okay to take out your frustration, your fears, your issues upon another human being. And I just found it so refreshing for a man in his position to delve deeper, to say, firstly, I'm not allowed to embrace my emotions as a man. And so I don't know how to deal, I don't know how to process things as a man. And so I use my power and my strength and my words to crush another human being because I am trying to feel better. So therein lies our problem, how we allow our sons to be raised, how we allow men to treat us. Because I don't think it happens immediately. Like, we give people permission slowly to treat us a certain way. And then in terms of us, it's like, there's an element of not feeling like we are worthy of love and care. So we will accept a certain kind of abuse. So it's like all of the stuff is happening, but I'm like, I think the biggest remedy is for us to search the deeper issues, the deeper things that all of us are struggling with that keeps perpetuating this sort of a behavior in the world. And if our mothers went through it and now us as daughters are going through, it means we have a responsibility to teach our sons and our daughters as is. That's where the biggest change is going to be. And then us as adults is to speak, and men more importantly, they need to speak. We need the men to protect us from other men. Don't keep quiet when you hear a woman being beat up. Do you know how many times I've heard people say, it's none of my business? Oh, that could be your daughter. You know, and so, and if as a woman as well, if you allow yourself to be treated that way, you're saying to your children, it is okay. It is okay for somebody to walk over me like that. So this issue for me needs to be tackled at a much deeper level. We need to talk about it at a deeper level. How are we raised? How do we feel about ourselves? What do we think we are worthy of? What do we think we deserve? And if we take back that power now, then we begin to change things, not only for ourselves, but for our coming generation. I feel like it's a problem that's going to take generations to turn around, but it starts with you and me. You and I, by how we treat ourselves, how we carry ourselves, and talking about it as well, saying, I used to be like this, and now this is what I decided to do, and have the courage. Oh my God, I know it takes so much courage. When I speak to with this event that we went to, they were speaking about how many times women, the justice system doesn't do anything for women who go and report. So then I don't even want to talk about it then, because it's like a dead end in that sense. But there are plenty organizations that offer help emotionally, because I think that's where it is. You know, it's emotionally, so that you have the strength to realize how valuable you are, and that there is help, and that you can start over again, and that you deserve better. You do deserve better. So firstly, we're so fortunate, after this entire year, like bookings and festivals are coming back on, and I've got 3 performances this weekend alone. So it's just like the busy season has started, which is exciting. We love it. And we love going out and seeing the people as well. So there's going to be a lot of that for me. And of course, performing and celebrating Feel Good Again, live and enjoying it with the audience. So yeah, I'm actually quite busy. I'm pretty much going to be around the country quite a bit. I'll be in Cape Town, Mpumalanga, Amanskraal, Duduza. It's just going to be lovely. So I'm excited about that. And we've been doing a lot of township performances, which has been so soul fulfilling. There's a certain vibe in the township, a certain love, a certain generosity of emotion that happens in a performance like that. And I think to some degree, sometimes, I don't know if it's the case, but it's as if they don't expect you to come to a township. But the fact is, they are classy, gorgeous venues in the townships, and they're springing up everywhere. And they're really so pride worthy. And then when the patrons come as well, everybody's dressed to the nines. Everybody looks amazing. There's amazing cars outside. So it's just something for me that feels like it uplifts the scene in a township, but like spiritually and energetically, it is so satisfying. I love it. So you'll find me at some place somewhere. But yeah, so if anyone is interested in where I'll be, please check my Instagram or my Facebook. So that's what I'm mostly looking forward to. Now, unfortunately, I never go away during the holidays, but I do like to host Christmas for my family. I pull all the stops. I like to have the tree. I tend to decorate. It's already like November. Anyone's like, it's too soon. I'm like, in whose house? In who house? So I love to do the decorations. I really make a fuss about Christmas. I love it with all my heart. And I love having my family here. So I'm like the quintessential host. I love hosting. So I'll probably have a few dinners leading up to Christmas, depending on the numbers, of course. And that's for me, that's what I love to do. And with my parents as well, I love to host them as well. And we all make food together. And, I really make a fuss, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So we tend to go away in January. That's when our whole industry kind of has a bit of a lull. And my parents and I always have at least minimum one holiday together. So I'm looking forward to that. My parents, they look amazing for their age. They're in their 60s. My dad's almost retired. My mom has been retired. So they're living their best lives. And so I've also enjoyed just spoiling and enjoying my parents. They're in good health. And I'm grateful for that. So I enjoy them. I take them places, and they're just amazing. And interestingly, my mom, I'm a grown woman. My mom still gets me gifts, little things like just on a random, this weekend, they took me out for lunch, and she got me cute little straps, so that I can wear low cut, little things like that. She'll get me lipstick, she'll get me masks. So my mom is like that. She's like, no, you're still my child, so she's very sweet that way.